won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome into Pregaming Sports Money, Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. You guys already know the deal, how we get after it. And I apologize in advance. Hate to say I'm sorry for something that's out of my control, but we just had what seemed like a tornado whip right through here. Massive flooding. The power has come back on. But sadly, the intersection here has got a loud, burned out something, and it's buzzing and humming. So hopefully you guys don't hear that. Now that I said it, I'm sure you will hear it. And so we have breaking news announcements. They're telling me do not travel, massive flooding all throughout the area. But we're here. We're doing what we do, and that is bring you guys late minute information, everything you need to know to go out there, make informed betting decisions. That's what we're here to do. We got our guy Ramon Scott kicking off the morning, get you guys that morning steam, and then we come here with pre-gaming and we do the thing that we do. Thank you guys all for coming in and hanging out, getting through some of the kinks here. We're in a transition period on X as well. So make sure you guys do take the time to subscribe, or I should say, yeah, I guess subscribe, right? You're subscribing to, you're following. Sorry. Sorry. Woo! It's the old wet brain. You know, you can only drink so many days in a row before it becomes a factor. And so, in any event, you guys, make sure you do get out there and check it out. I'm going to drop the link here in the chat as well. Let's see. Well, you should be able to find it out there at Sports Money Wins. At Sports Money Wins. Because I told you guys that story about the scrub that went out of business and doesn't want to give up. Doesn't want to give it up. So there it is in the chat. We're going to move a lot of the content over to that side of things. Just building the walls around this thing, you know? Just building the walls. We got the foundation poured. Now we're putting the walls up. We got to get the roof on this thing. So it's all a process. It's all a game in process for you guys. But I hope everybody had a great weekend. I did. I enjoyed myself immensely. UFC, took my L from first strike. That always bothers me. But collectively, I think everyone did pretty well there. We crushed college football, Major League Baseball. What a day yesterday in the NFL. I believe right now I'm 500 on the 5 NFL picks that I shared with you guys. You know, we went, I think it was 500 based on the early college football looks. So we'll figure out a way to keep formatting this thing to get you guys those winners as well. But we had a nice Friday. You know, we had a nice little Friday going out there. We cashed that Tampa under 8.5. No sweat. No sweat. We did lose Toronto, but it was a plus 145 spot. I mean, a loss is a loss. At least we didn't eat the juice. We cracked on that San Diego spot. Minus 1.5, plus 102. We got the team total over 4.5 as well. That moved us to 3-1 for the day. Woo! We got to get these brain neurons firing. And then we closed out the day with a nice big win with the Cleveland Guardians at plus 130. So all in all, it was a pretty solid baseball day. Dialed in. Right time of year. Stats, data, trends, angles, everything's aligning for us now. And the best part about it is everybody's transitioning to college football and the NFL. So line movement should be a little bit more sharper and be a little more telling as we finish out the baseball season. And then we had a nice day in college football. We got BYU first half and the full game, the 7.5 and the 12.5, double catcher there. And we split that Duke and the under overtime. But hey, we cashed the plus 2.5 at Duke. So 3-1 college football day. You guys know what we did in the NFL. You already know. You already know. Come on. Now, we're 2-1. We had the Eagles. Could have made it any more simple. Here's Team A. Here's Team B. Mask your misery and dissatisfaction when my boys go out there and win, and just look at it on paper. See, the challenge. Some of you guys listen to too many of those fucking early ahead shows. Man, nobody knows squat about squat. They're just going out there to give you guys to get a click. They want your click. I don't want your click. I want you to catch. That's the deal. We're going to talk about this NFL game tonight because there's a lot of sheep wandering around. We don't want to be in the sheep position today. Now, Watson over 37.5 receiving yards. He didn't get there. But Barkley. Say what? Saquon. SOBs. Saquon Barkley over 67.5 rushing yards. I mean, I told you how that was going to go. I told you what was going to happen. I told you why they brought him in. I told you I was going to improve everything by just one small tinker. Now, you could argue they started off turnover, but this defense plugs the gap. Then they fumble. Look, new offensive coordinator change. New center. The only guy that touches the ball more than the quarterback is the center. Still get those pieces right. We're going to be okay. We talked about the Packers. I even said, if we do the Team A and Team B, the first thing you're going to have to ask when it comes to Team B is which of those guys are playing. Because they're always hurt. They're soft. All right. Nobody wants to hear me talk about the Eagles from last Friday on Monday. And then, from a parlay perspective, we should have cashed that parlay. We missed by a half a K. 1/2 of a K. We got hooked on 5 legs, but I know a lot of you guys reached out and you cashed the Schwarber RBI and Saquon parlay with the touchdown. So, it was a good Friday. It was a really good Friday. We got to talk about where we've been so we can figure out where we're going. And where we're going is to the window tonight with quite a breakdown. We got a parlay in play, cross sport. There's 2 sports going on. There's two ways to go about this 5-leg parlay. I believe it's 17-1. Yeah, 17. That's a little over 17-1. We're going to talk about the the Reds and Braves game. We'll go Yankees and Kansas City. We'll go Angels in Minnesota. 2 plays in that game. We got the Cubs and the Dodgers. I'd like to light that game up. Now that I just refresh and reflect on the capping I looked at for that card today, I want to light that game up. But last but not least, we'll close it off with Monday Night Football. It's going to be a ton of fun today, you guys. Big card, big plays, big opportunities for us to score. It'd be real big if you guys could hit that thumbs up button. Support what we're doing here, man. We're just trying to grow. We're trying to build, giving you guys more and more content. The NFL programming should continue. New programming for the NFL this week. We're going to have new college football programming as well. So lots of changes happening around these parts. Still going to have to be based on W's. Winning is all that matters. But look, we got to have fun. Clear the air because I made some comments earlier today. I said, I'm not going to talk to you about the under in this primetime Monday Night Football game. Not going to do it. Look, just not going to do it. Does it make sense? I'll give you a trend. We all know. If I was sitting on the other side of the screen and I didn't have to look at this mug, and maybe it was one of your mugs that was on the screen, and you started talking to me about this under tonight, great job. Everybody knows about it. And what happens when everybody knows about it? So we'll go side in the game. I do have a team total prop, and I do have a player prop one or two player props as well. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun show. Look, I just want to put myself I said this earlier, put myself in the seat of the viewer. What do I want? I want to have fun. I want to make money. I don't want to hear the same shit everybody else is talking about. So that's how we will kick this puppy off tonight. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us, man. Again, apologize for the noise in the background if you can hear it. I wonder if anybody can hear it. I don't want to keep talking about it because I know you guys will not be able to unhear it. But thank you guys all for joining. Make sure you do smash the thumbs up. Make sure you grab the pen and paper because the sharpest chat in the game assembles right here, right now. Everyone's been looking at this card all day, kind of going through the grind of the Monday, right? We've had a full day of football yesterday. Got to get up and go do the 9 to 5 thing and come back home now. And hey, I'm sure at lunchtime you took a look at the card. Maybe you spent some time this morning with the morning steam figuring out the card. And now we're here trying to go and get that money. Make sure you throw the plays in the chat as well. Want to talk about what you guys are on for tonight's action. And we'll get going because we do have a 6:40 p.m. start in Major League Baseball and obviously plenty of time for Monday Night Football. The MNF game doesn't pop off until 8:15. So we got time to go through today's card. We got time to get the bets in. We got time to run to the liquor store if you need a refill. I don't know if I'll be partaking tonight because we got a live stream again tomorrow. We're going live for Dana White Contender Series. I believe this is week 5. So the crew will be assembled. About 7:40. We'll get together. We'll do our thing. Then we'll launch First Strike. Then we'll launch some college football. Then we'll launch some NFL. Next thing you know, it's going to be Saturday. And that's when we go live again for UFC 306. They're in the sphere. Or spear, whatever, sphere, whatever they want to call it. I don't give a shit where it is. I just want to see some combat. How about that? Man, let's go. Let's get into it. I hope you guys that did win Survivor Pool entries did not take the Cincinnati Bengals. I did. That hurt. That did hurt. So there's a second chance, by the way. There's a second chance Survivor that pops off. I want to say it's like October. It's like week 5, I think. I think it's week 5. So second chance to get back in there. Not for the big prize, but hopefully one of you guys and girls that I invested in that are oh so sharp come up with a dub. I only want a K. Just a K. Just 1K. So I'm rooting for you guys. It's going to be fun to see how that evolves. Speaking of evolving, Joe T continuing his assault on the unders, running and gunning. 72-39. Fucking guy. Marlins and Pirates over 8 tonight. And the Cubs and Dodgers over 9.5. Right there. Joe T. Every day puts his content out there between X, and you can always find it on the community page of the YouTube channel. Sports Money. Joe T. 72-39. You shitting me? It's crazy. It's awesome. Shout out to Joe T. Thank you for sharing, my dude. NJ Striker says, let's get it, pimp. Too legit says, great slate tonight. I do love the slate tonight. And I'm fired up for that football game, of course. A little Monday nighter going on. Clip Yang says, I heard Mike loved the under. Mike, let us know. I mean, it makes sense. It does, Cliff. It's just not fun. It's not fun. I always said this from day one when I started going on various live streams. I'll keep doing it as long as it's fun. Now, winning is fun, for sure. I said this earlier. I talked to some dudes. I told them when I was doing those live streams over at the other place, can't keep coming on if all you're going to do is talk about unders. Yeah, we want to win. I want to give you guys some content too, though. I mean, fuck. Come on. What's up, Custom McCalvey? It's good to see you, brother. Thanks for coming in. Too Legit says under in the NFL. Yeah. Why wouldn't you 13-4 last year money? Yeah, no, I get it. We all know that, though. Like shout out Dabby Cab today. And I said, Dabby, like hearing your thoughts around that first half and how it's going to go. I didn't really hear. Just sounded like the teacher in Charlie Brown, just I couldn't hear him. It's not his fault. It's my fault. Because, it's the way it is. It's how we roll with each other. But anyway, shout out to you, Too Legit. Chris Salas says Jets, Jets. Let's go. Trisha M's in the house, is here for the plus money plays. Let's get it. Too Legit says Aaron Rodgers would be the only X factor. I could see him exploding, and Jets have 28, but doubts it though. Doubts it. This is Too Legit. And again, it makes a lot of sense. It does. I don't want to root against my friends, but I'm not on that under. Justin McKelvey. What is that? Little blue? What is that? What's all that color on the screen? Dancing? Are we dancing? Let's go. What a weekend, says Flea Mathis. Fuck yeah, man. Football's back. We're here. We're rolling. Winner's Circle says, hey, yo, get that Jets money line action for my guy, Winner's Circle. Voodoo Ranger. Jennings, alternate 25 plus receiving yards. Love these props, man. These are so big. You guys coming in and sharing these types of things are like, when I'm sitting there for the next or the hour between when we finish here and when I get to football there, I love to go back and see these because then I build myself a couple same game parlays just to try to take some big swings. The big bets are in, but still want to get some big swings. Let's go. Too Legit says, what tape does 49ers have on Rodgers and Jets? Hard to prepare as a Niners defense versus a team who has loads of Purdy film and McCaffrey on limited snaps. Gerald Jones giving us his best bet, the Mets -110. The Futon bets likes the under 8.5 in the Red Sox game. Joseph Alvarado says Chicago loves sports money. I got to get me a Chicago trip. It's been a minute. I always have a good time when I go there. So I'm going to have to go see my guy, Joseph Alvarado, and see what we can do. See if we can't show Chicago how to drink some vodka, Joe. Shout out Voodoo Ranger. I forgot who it was in the chat that just talked about like how disgusted I looked. I can only imagine. I mean, I try to keep the poker face, but I got tears in my eyes. Jeez. Kelly V, what up, KD? Says home teams 11-4 straight up this first week. Trisha M says boost on the Niners +7. Is that the Florida boost, Trisha M? I like hearing about those. You guys are awesome, man. Let's go. Too Legit says Debo and Hall anytime touchdowns. I nailed that one last night. I mean, we needed all of the clock to get there. But that 2 touchdown score for, what was it, +250 or something like that, 265 maybe. Felt good. Felt like a good. I was 2 points shy, though, of smacking that evening over. I took it down. Cashed myself another. I don't want to digress. I don't want to digress. Hey, look, there I am. And that's what I put out there. Sports money wins, you guys. Take a look at the banner. I whipped that thing together today before the power went out. So Cliff Yang says Voodoo Ranger. I think he moved a lot. You guys are funny. Irish King, what up? He's going alternate line. San Fran -6.5. Let's go. Shout out to Old E in the house. Let's go. Talk sports with JT. What's good, my dude, is we are back. It's Monday, and I'm ready to attack. Great to see you, JT. Let's go. Cameron Sinnett. I'm going to roll something up. Talking about taking the Jets. We're going to get the plane in the air, my dude. Getting in the air. Let's go. Rob McMahon. First Monday night football of the season. Vodka style. I'm going to start putting that vodka style into some of the Twitter pops out there, some of the Twitter shout outs. You guys get me jacked up about that. Let's go. Ronnie Lofton's in the house. Ron Crawford. Killing the bookies overnight with his KBO action. He's got a KBO play for you guys, the NC Dinos. Make sure you check out my dude, Ron Crawford, on X. When you go over there and get on board with Sports Money Wins, Go over there and get on board with Ron Crawford. Let's go. Let's go, Joe Spelgarado. Two guys on that Philly team that know how to squat. Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. Saquon. So excited. You know, it's funny because he slipped and fell. Just regale you with this story. And my boy was breaking my balls. And he's like, oh, you're so excited about this guy. That's my boy being an asshole voice. So it gives me, oh, you're your new piece. Can't even walk right. And I looked at him and I was like, dude, live bet this shit out of him right now. He's like, what do you mean? I said, this is one of those spots where he goes off. And this little fall that he has becomes the joke that they're watching over and over and over on the plane back, just breaking the dude's balls nonstop because of that slip. It was a shit field condition. But it just felt like that was the storyline. And what's he do? 150 some odd all-purpose yards, 3 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. And he squats a fucking minivan. Let's go. Ron Crawford likes the Baltimore O's. Gerardo Hernandez in the house. What up, my dude? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Jermaine Conley says, yo, what up, gang? Let's go, Jermaine. Oh, yeah, Flea. I had with my survivor or my, I was, in hindsight, I was too invested in that team. Yeah, let's go. Trisha M says San Fran -4. Debo at anytime. Tutty plays today. Gotcha. Jay Peasy. Guys, make sure you check it out. Jay Peasy dropped the video for us. Man's been grinding, but as soon as he got a free moment, he took the opportunity to give you guys a little 2-leg parlay for today's action. Let's go. Voodoo likes Alan Lazard at 25 plus receiving yards at plus 120. Morgan Spooner. What up, Morgan Spooner? Rodgers over 250 yards, plus 135. Wilson, 80 receiving yards, plus 140. CMC over 125 rushing and receiving yards, plus 135. I like what you did there with those plays. I like a Wilson touchdown. I like a Wilson tutty. Let's go. Markel, what's up there? Let's go. There we go. Talk sports with JT. Likes the Aaron Rodgers interception at -110. Jermaine says fade all the bad Monday teams. White Sox, Cubs, and Marlins. Marlins are that bad. What about Tampa? Tampa's a bad game one of a series team. Got to fire Tampa in there. They're like 1-14 their last 15 game ones of a series. Let's go. Voodoo Ranger. Let's go. KV got us some action here. White Sox, Miami, 3-30 on Mondays. Toronto, terrible too. Like 1-12. Wow. There goes the flip side. Jay Peasy, he'll tell you, Dodgers are 13-1. Let's go. Good to see Hugh in the house. My guy Hugh and David Wallace. Let's go. Cliff Yank says you're going to do some live streams for college and the NFL. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Last week there was a lot that happened last week. The Tuesday live stream, Wednesday getting our boy on board and Ramon locking that stuff down and getting him ready for Thursday. Then the live stream Thursday. Then the Eagles on Friday. Your boy went out cocktailing heavy. Saturday's live stream, man, I was just fucking burned out yesterday. Burned out. We're going to do it, though. You guys know. We're going to keep disrupting this marketplace, giving winners and live bets out there. So let's go, you guys. Man, I'm taking a long time to get through it here. Let's get to work. Shout out to all you guys rocking here. We'll get back to this in a moment and see what you guys got cooking as well. Let's talk about this first game. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's talk about this parlay. Shit. My fault. So 640, we have 2 games at 640, 3 games at 640. And the Skeen spot and the Schwarber spots are the big opportunities in this one. What do you want to say about Schwarber? The same thing I said about him on Friday. We'll just abbreviate that. The guy's a fucking beast right now. He's an absolute straight killer. I mean, the guy literally, just a guy you don't want to mess with. That's what it comes down to. And we got a little pitching change out there with this Tampa Bay team. We got a little Sulcer. The advantage being, well, nobody's seen him, but it doesn't matter, man. Kyle Schwarber, lefty spot, lefty opportunity out there. I think it's going to be a nice city for this guy. When you got an untested youngin coming out there going against a lefty, it's just not a good spot. It's not a good spot for him. So Schwarber, we're just going to abbreviate the Schwarber spot. We're going to abbreviate the Skeen spot. It's Skeens. It's over 16.5 outs. Now he's going to have to go into the 7th inning probably for us. But that hasn't been a problem for Skeens. I don't expect him to get the hook in this situation. He should go out there and continue to knife. That's what he does. It's the Marlins. We talked about how poor the Marlins play in game ones of series. So we got Skeens. We got Schwarber. Let's get on to Miguel. Miguel for the Mets. This one has a lot to do with just a bum spot for this guy. His under 4.5 Ks is starting to catch some steam over there by the fine folks of, I think it was DraftKings. And he's gone under his total 5 of his last 9 games. He's not even pitching even when he's not pitching very much, he's still just not getting there. He's averaging 4.8 Ks per game in that 9-game sample. So 5 of 9 didn't get there, but 4.8 on average. Now we look at the K rate factors over the last 2 weeks. The Blue Jays are 25th in strikeout ratio. 29th in their last 15 days. So 30-day, 15-day sample. They're bad. They're not hitting the ball well. They're not seeing it very good whatsoever. But they're not striking out very much. So from that perspective, we're going to go with a little Miguel under 4.5 Ks. I kind of like Toronto in that game. I just had a little brain fart there because I was thinking about, I saw somebody say something about the Mets there, or fading Toronto, but I kind of like Toronto in this spot. I didn't pull the trigger on it. Let's just keep it going. Blue Jays, they're just firing. They're not striking out a ton. I think it's a great Miguel spot under 4.5 Ks. Then I went over to Cody Bellinger. Why? Because I expect there to be an explosion of runs. I'm in alignment with Joe T on this over in this game. And when I look at, kind of the big deal for me, it was between 2 guys on this last Dodger spot here. I was either going to take a shot with the Dodger side, and I was looking at Freddie Freeman, by the way, to get 2 or more bases. That would have made this parlay around 24-1. It's 14 at-bats against Kyle Hendricks, 5 hits, 1 home run, 4 RBIs for a 357. The guy's a killer. But I went to the other side, and I just dropped it down to just a hit. Just 1 hit. Why? Because Walker Buehler has been nothing but fucking awful since he came back from his injuries. So mid-August, he comes back. He's played like just pure and total dog shit. He's got himself in a little 1-4 opportunity here. And, if you want to quantify pure and total dog shit, in his last 17 innings that he's pitched, he's given up 13 runs. 10 of them earned, meaning it's on him. And he's not going past the 5th inning in any game yet. Bad spot. That should lead to an explosion of offense. And then last but not least, I added in Christian McCaffrey. This is receiving yards, though. Under 33.5 receiving yards. Thought process there. There's a lot of mouths to feed with this offense in San Francisco. Now you see, I like to see MC play there with the runs, the rushing and receiving opportunity because, frankly, I think the other guys on this team that are going to be more apt to, catch the ball include guys like, let's not forget, the knife that is Deebo Samuel. But I just looked at it and thought, we'll talk about how I think the game's going to go. It's up. Oh, thank goodness that fucking sound kicked off. Woo! It's just annoying. Scratching at my inner eardrums. Just constant hum. But I think the big deal, like I said, Deebo Samuel, he's the dual threat out there. They've got Brandon Ayuk in the wide receiver game. He should have a decent game, albeit though his numbers are starting to come down for his total. So this isn't a spot where he's steaming up. Then we look at some other options too. I mean, look, they also brought in some young guns. So this just felt to me like, he can have a ground game. He can run on the ground. But I don't expect him to go out there and catch the ball as well. And you'll see how that ties into a little prop play that I have as we get to the to the next side of it. Even if he does, it's a little flip out to the flat. I don't expect him to go out there and crush it. He's on a minutes restriction or a snap count, right? He's going to be kind of dealing with a little bit of a snap count in there. So lots of mouths to feed, lots of other guys to catch the ball. Snap count issues out there all lead to me to play the under 33.5 receiving yards for Christian McCaffrey. Let's go. James Hart Jr. What up? Says keep up the great work. Appreciate you, James. Appreciate you, my dude. The Futon Bets took Seattle on Survivor. Thanks again for the entry. I got you. If I win, you can screenshot this too. Thanks, man. Thanks. Let's go. Let's go. I missed a whole bunch of you guys here, and I did not do it on purpose. Let me get to the 640 game, and then we'll check back in and see what's going on. Cincinnati Reds, the Atlanta. I feel like I can finally hear myself fucking think. Man, that thing is buzzing for like the last 4 hours at least. 3.5, maybe. I don't know. All right. Cincinnati Reds, Atlanta Braves spot here. Everybody loves the Braves. 83% of the bets and 83% of the cash. Huge movement on the home team Braves. Still battling for that playoff right. I see I had a little typo there. 78-65. But the problem with this Braves team, they're left with ground chuck. And he's got that 4.24 ERA. Pitches to contact, hoping that everybody can do their job to work as a unit to get the win. Then you have a total at 8.5. That's got 93% of the bets and 93% of the cash on the over. We got Nick Martinez with a 3.67 ERA. You know, so both these guys are kind of like right in that middle of the road. They're both like not spectacular. Martinez probably has a little bit of the advantage with the 3.67 ERA and 7-6 on the season, but Morton with 4.24 ERA is 8-7 on his season. You know, kind of coin flippy. Now we see a lot of cash coming in on the Braves. We didn't see a ton of movement on the Braves. Big red flags out there, especially with this time of the year and ground chuck, pitch to contact, gassing out. His ERA is heading south, not north. Then we look at the Reds. And we'll talk about the Reds on Monday, particularly. A couple things I looked at. One, they're 8-0 in their last 8 Mondays. They love playing on Mondays. They've been dogs 4 of those 8 times. They've won 4 of them. Doesn't matter if they're a favorite or a dog. They're still equally taking money from the bookies. Their WRC plus is 6 full points higher than the Braves over the last 2 weeks. And they're just outscoring opponents on these Monday opportunities. 7-2. 7-2. Opening her up. Taking this plus money opportunity. Now, this number's changed a little bit. Oh, what do we got? What do we got? The black don't go with the color scheme here. What do we got? Let's see what we got. There we go. There we go. Yeah. I'm OCD. Yeah. Yeah, that stuff bothers me. We'll fix it. We'll get it right. Perception here, right? We want to make sure you guys have a clean leg. I mean, look, if it hurts my eyes, you can't hear what we have to say. Irish King. 28-24. San Francisco. Irish King, I thought you were laying the 7.5. You laying the 7.5? Are you saying 28-24? You better hope not. You better hope not. Look at Nasty Nate. There he is. You know, he did say it. He did say it. He said the Pats were going to smash. He said he was going to be on the island by himself. I also told him he wasn't going to be on the island himself because all those Patriots fans were going to be there with him. But he did say it. I'll give him that. I'll give him that indeed. Let's go. Nunez says, long-ass day on the job site. I hope the gang is about to cash because I don't have a New York minute to cap. Let's go. TransCanada. Then I'm going to test you sports knowledge. Do you know who Jennifer Jones is? Jesus, man. What context? Jennifer Jones. Is it Jerry Jones' twin sister? Looks like Jerry Jones, but with long hair. That's my guess. Shout out to James Hart. Rodgers under a half an interception, minus 110. Huh, over 15.5. Let's go. Love those looks. Love those looks, guys. Tarek B's in the house. What up, Tarek? Hey, Peasy. I took the Dodgers team total over, he says. Oldie says, Nanya, same here. I have nothing pre-flop, but boots are off. Christopher Salas says, find the Billy Goat Tavern, the one under the bridge. Toss cheese boys. Don't disappoint. Oh, those cheese boys. I haven't had a cheeseburger in a minute. I haven't had a cheeseburger. Oh, man, I could eat. I'm hungry. I haven't had anything to eat, I don't think, in a minute either. So definitely time to get eating here. Peter Gracia says, sup, Mike? Think San Fran covers LFG. Shout out to T-Mac. Dana Delt rocking with us. Let's go Braves in the under plus 182 as I talk about taking the Reds. Dana, hopefully your under cashes, but hopefully my Reds cash. Let's go. Trisha says, Fins Thursday. Trisha, you know better. You know better. The Bills. Bills, baby. So I left my buddy's place, and he was going to the Bills game yesterday. Yeah, yesterday, right? Sunday. And I left his place on Saturday. And as we're talking out the door, we started talking about the cost of the tickets and stuff like that. And so I was like, here's what you do. Take all the money you're putting into this game. Tickets, parking, driving, tolls, food, beverages, the whole smash. You guys all know the deal of what goes into these games. And I said, now take all that money, ball it all up real nice, and bet it on Arizona plus 6.5 because at least you'll have a free day. He texted me, told me I was right, but he didn't play it. So can't help, right? What are you going to do? Can't help him. Can't help him if they can't want to be helped. Come on. Yeah, Dana Dope. I know. I feel bad. Kelly McInnes and I were talking a little bit too. Survivor picks are like one of those things too. I don't want to give them out for somebody. Like I don't want to influence anybody's thinking because it's like, hey, if I won them all, I'd still be on screen. I just wouldn't be here. It'd be a different story. Let's go. Come on. JPC says Dodgers to get bounced in the first round of the playoffs will probably be my next Dodgers bet. Sounds like a true fan. Talk to you, JPZ. Listen, Mason. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Mason. I for some reason I couldn't think of the name it was on the tip of my tongue, and I know I wrote it down in my notes. I just couldn't figure it out. Mason being the draft pick there, or the guy picked up for San Francisco to battle with CMC. John C says setting the intro record today. What did I set a record? Did I set a record? Dustin says, I listen to YouTube shows at work all day and browse X. It seems every respectable capper is on the Jets or the under. We all going to cash as one big happy family tonight. Maybe. And I'm live betting this. Big Mouth Rob, good to see him. Nut Flush Allen in the house. What up, boys and girls? Started 5-1. Woo! Team totals. Man, I gave you guys that gift wrap fucking New York Giants spot there. I think it's gift wrapped. 20.5. Turns out they're going to go back to Daniel Jones this week. It was kind of a bizarre look, too, that Justin Fields goes in instead of Russell Wilson. Maybe Pittsburgh's already sick of his shit. I don't know. It screwed up my bet, though, because, well, not my bet, but my pick'em, my weekly pick'em, because I like Pittsburgh if it was – I was on the wrong side of that. That's what it comes down to. I like Pittsburgh if Russell Wilson was playing. And then when they flipped it to Fields, I was like, I don't like it as much. So that screwed me up. Let's go. Nunez is saturated here. I don't know if I've seen him. I'm behind on you guys here. So I got to step it up. Let's go. Two Legits is on them. Phil's minus 1.5. Should be a great bet. Let's go, Nunya. Need the real chat OGs to come together as one united D-Gen. Let's make a plus minus 1,000 player prop consensus parlay. Oh, I'd love to see that, you guys. I'd love to see that. Morgan Spooner says it's late in the baseball season. Regression comes from all stats that are outliers. Should we actually be backing these Cubs? One of the worst Monday teams versus one of the best. Not a bad way to look. Not a bad look. Voodoo Ranger likes Zerline for 2+ field goals. Nunya says, you got to be shitting me. Meatball McGill. Last one. Yeah, let's go. Wow, that sounds fucking outstanding. I could eat. Man, oregano, basil, thyme, sage, bacon, greased chicken. Woo! Woo! Let's go. Not blush. It's a great time at the NFL start to find the teams in Major League that are pushing for playoff spots versus basement teams that are just riding out the year. It's team total over heaven. Love it. There we go. I was just Kelly McInnes, man. I led you astray on that one yesterday. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I tell you what happened. Joey Burrow didn't show up is what happened. Let's go. Nunya says, dry and beautiful in Alabama, at least till that water drops on our way. Saturated likes the Niners -6.5 in the house. What up, Saturated? There he is. Morgan, I can't bet that one, but that's a good price, says Nunya. Let's go. Trisha says, I love capping and cooking. Snow crab claws and mashed sweet potatoes for me. That sounds tasty. Sure sounds tasty. Then he says, good luck. Saturated says the Jets pass defense is no joke. See, that's what I'm saying. We're going to get into it. We're going to get into it here. Let's get going here on some baseball. Love to talk about what you guys have in the chat. So we got line movement in the Yankees game, -178, now -182. We know the Yankees are a pretty public team, right? Everybody loves them Yankees, except for me. 87% of the bets and 86% of the cash on the Yanks. Then we look at this total. Now, this total has moved. Now a full run. There's 9s out there now, with 90% of the bets and 91% of the cash on the over. Brady Singer. Brady Singer day on, let me get this thing moving, on the bump for Kansas City with a disappointing, probably at this point, 3.35 ERA because he's 9-10. So he's doing decent, right? We talked just like we said last week about the goaltending price. Serviceable. Singer, 3.35 ERA. And here's Rodon, right? Rodon, that's not for today, by the way. That was a wrong click of the button from last Friday. So there's no clear. It's not even on the screen. There's no Guardians play. And they're certainly not at that price, I don't believe. So anyways, we look at Rodon, 4.2 ERA, and yeah, makes sense that this line's on the tick-tock and rolling on up, but I think this is more for me of I don't know what the final weather outcome is going to look like here, but both these guys go out and shove. They both find a way to keep it tight, make it right. And we look at Singer, from a Singer perspective, his last game, 5 innings pitched, only 2 runs, 3 Ks. But it's kind of the Yankee spot that I was looking at and thinking, what are we going to get out of these guys? What are we looking at from them, how they performed, what have they been doing out there? And, well, they've been losing. They're 2-3 in their last 5 games. They did win 2 games in a row against the Cubs, but then they dropped that third one. They won 3-0, 2-0, then 2-1. And what that all led me to looking at for this game was taking a big play on this under. And the under at 8.5 is even money. I don't think the hook comes into play at the 9. I mean, the numbers just move too much now. For me, it was a great opportunity to look at this, get an even money play on a spot where we're seeing the Yankees are starting to step up, play some defense, do the things they're supposed to do. You're able to count on their pitchers. As much as you kind of know you got that 4.45 ERA when it comes to a Rodon situation, or 4.19 ERA. Look, versus Kansas City before. Now, this is when Kansas City was firing red hot, by the way. 7 innings pitched. He got 5 hits, but he had 3 Ks, only 1 earned run. We've seen that they're not giving up runs at all, and he went out there with 5 hits, only gave up 1 earned run. Last game out, 6 innings pitched, only 1 hit, 11 Ks. Go time for this dude. You look at his last 5 games, 6 Ks, 5 Ks, 5 Ks, 8 Ks, 11 Ks. Now stepping up. Those were both road starts. And he's coming back home where he's got a better ERA. I think he shuts down this Kansas City squad altogether. And this is an under situation for me. So even money on the 8.5. I love this under. Hopefully some of this weather blows in that way too and cools things down and shuts that entire situation right down in New York City. Let's go. The Angels and the Twins on deck. Angels and the Twins. Man, you've been watching the show for any given period of time here. You're going to know probably what one of these plays is going to look like. You know, what do we do when a team goes out and there gets blanked? Now we have 86% of the bets and 80% of the cash on the Twins. We do have a little reverse line movement, a little. Here's what I mean by a little. It's gone from minus 188 to minus 165. Pretty sizable, right? 23 cents. But it's only moved 3 cents on the LA Angel side of things. Then we look at this total, and there's complete reverse line movement on this total. 8.5s now down to 8s and 7.5s. 97% of the bets, 97% of the cash. And it kind of makes sense because when you look at kind of recent performances, we've got Festa starting on the side of the bump for the Minnesota Twins. He's got that 4.75 ERA, and he's 2-5. The Angels, Detmers, terrible. What do you want to say? The guy's got that 5.87 ERA. I mean, he's the thing about this squad, though, is who's going to hit the damn ball? We look at it, Festa at home is 0-3, but with a 4.75 ERA total and a 5.64, a young buck that's going to start coming around, I think. It's kind of just pure speculation. We just talked about that Yankees series. He didn't play in that series. I'm sorry, it wasn't the Yankees. His last 3 starts, though, 6-1, 5-1, 2-1, all losses. Even the game that he won was 5-2, all looking towards unders. Then on the other side of the ball, we look at the Angels, and they're just hit or miss. I mean, both these teams are hit or miss, right? They scored 4 runs against the Rangers and then backed it up with 4 runs against the Rangers. But prior to those, they were on themselves a nice little under streak. This is where the streakiness certainly comes into play. 3-2 Mariners. Then they lose 6-2 to the Dodgers. 10-1, they beat the Dodgers in a random explosion of offense. Lose by scoring 1 run, lose by scoring 1 run. It's cluster effect for this Angels team and then some out there. And then I looked at it, and as poor as Festa's done, he is 6-0-1 to the under in his last 7 starts. The average total we're seeing on a line is 8. If you aggregate all those numbers together, you roll them up, 3-2 is the final scores we're seeing in those games. Now, what's the last validation point we need? Shitty WRC plus. Minnesota Twins, 27, last 14 days. The LA Angels, 28, the last 14 days. So you got a pitcher that can shut things down. You got so many Angel under trends that it jumps off the map. I didn't even write any of them down. Then you look at it too. Minnesota, they're only averaging 2.2 runs per game in their last 10 games. All signs pointed to the under. But we're not just stopping there. This is good old grandma. She's feeling frisky. She's putting on your sister's panties. And this is the spot that I love. The home team minus 1.5 in the under. Why? Because you would look on the surface and think, well, they're home. They lose those 9th inning if they're up. I get it. But that's why the under works out even better for us. Because they don't have that opportunity for the bottom of the 9th inning. And the last but not least, the fucking candle on top of the cake. We just got shut out 2-0 on this Twins side of things. 2-0 to the Kansas City Royals. Teams off the shutouts. We've been talking about it to the nth degree. Take the -1 if you want. I thought about it. I ended up with the under. And then instead of taking the -1 at around a -135, -140 spot, I love the under in this game. We even have reverse line movement. I'm believe the run line. They should be able to go out there and smack these boys up. Final score projection, 4-1. Project a little 4-1 on you guys. What do you think about that? What do you guys think about that? Lots of great stuff happening in the chat, man. Woo! I'm behind. I'm so behind. It's like the battle and the war here, right? Just going to lose this battle catching up to you guys. Old E says, don't fuck with me yet, Cliff Yang. He says, I'm still laughing about Saturday. What did I miss on Saturday? Was one of us doing something funny? Was I slurring? I don't know. Reds, 13-4. Oh, man, I did shut things down on Saturday too. I fucked that up. Man, I really screwed that up. That was bad. Man, that was bad. God, curling. Ah, dude. Now that I know it's curling, and Trans Canada says all-time curler. Yeah. Look. Yeah. I like to play it. Doesn't mean I know necessarily who they are. That's a great call, though. Kelly McKinnon says Canadian track and field, I believe. Women's curler. Gretzky's wife. And Gretzky's made some fine-looking daughters. Kelly McKinnon says Gretzky's wife is man. I wish I'd been stayed tuned real time with you guys on that. Shit, yeah, I like that. Trans Canada lost respect, says Nunya. Man, you guys are fucking funny guys and girls today. Oh, Mike, I didn't get the curling. I missed it. I listened. I never professed it to know a lot about it. I just like playing it. It's like it's human-sized shuffle puck, or shuffleboard, right? It's like that shuffleboard game that you got with all the sand and shit at the bar where you slide that stupid disc around. It's kind of like that. It's fun. It's a fun game for sure. Russell Wilson just stealing money from the Steelers. Says J-Dub. Man, not like our guy. Shit, Daniel Jones. You see that stat? He's thrown more interceptions than he has touchdowns since he got that big mega deal. And now they're coming out saying, well, he's going to start next game. That ain't a good sign. That ain't a good sign at all. Let's go. Gerald Jones says Bassett out for the Jays. The real Jolly Rogers in the house. Breece Hall. Parlay over 56 yards rushing and 14 carries. Plus 106. Fired up for this game tonight, guys. Send it to Subhuman Gaucho in the house. I see you. Let's go, Sub. Big night tomorrow for the Dana White Contender Series. Kelly D says the Mets money line, Minnesota -1, Dodgers -1, and love player prop Bellinger, total bases, -120. As he returns to LA all week, bet on Bellinger. Yeah, he's made the parlay. He has certainly made the parlay. What up, Rod Zawacki's in the house, my dude. This is Royals hitting 127 versus lefties. Love the under. Let's go. Rod Zawacki's in the house, my dude. Let's go. Irish King says Reds guy. Rodzy says J-Dub. Yes. Money. Purdy can get that in one run. Oh, really? Saturated? CMC's out? Is he out? We know that for sure. Oh, man. Really? All right, let's go. Let me get into this Cubs-Dodgers spot for you guys. We got some numbers to talk about there. Man. All right, we gotta tighten our asses up. Let's go. 10 p.m. Cubs and Dodgers. We'll talk some NFL momentarily. -162 has moved to -188. They're hammering on them Dodgers. 90% of the bets and 98% of the cash on Los Doyers. Then we look at the total. 9.5 was where it opened. It's got some 10s out there. Predominantly seeing 10s with some pricey 9.5s. And 81% of the bets, 84% of the cash. Now, when I gave you guys that parlay at the start of the show, just for the sake of not being redundant, Walker Buehler is terrible. You know who else is terrible? Temple. I want to make sure I get that in there in case I forget to mention how bad Temple is at fucking football. Make sure you write that down. We get that notepad out. Write that down for later this week. Temple is bad. I don't know why I thought about that when I thought about Walker Buehler, but I guess it's the mental jog here and seeing just how bad this guy is. Think about the Dodgers and streaky teams when they put things together. They're over. When they're off of back-to-back wins and they're making things happen, continues to happen. They're 8-0-2 to the over. after back-to-back wins. So they won 7-2 and 4-0 against Cleveland. Ironically, they only lost one game in that series. It was the game that we bet on Cleveland. The Cubs, I don't know what. I mean, look at this team. This is the real gamble. Which team's going to show up? They won 2-1 against the Yankees the last game. They lost 2-0 and they lost 3-0, back-to-back spots. They won 12-0 against Pittsburgh. They lost the game before that 5-0 against Pittsburgh. Either you're in or you're fucked when it comes to betting on totals with the Cubs team. I'm looking at the Dodgers to push the pace, though, on this one. The average run line we're seeing in that last 10 games off of back-to-back wins is 8.8. So we're a little lofty at 9.5s or 10s. But it's the outcome. It's the margin. It's 13 runs total that we're seeing in those games. So there's enough of a margin there. And then, of course, what else do we need to check the box with? WRC+. The Dodgers are 5th over the last 14 days. Somehow, the Cubs are 6th. I don't know. I guess it's that 12. I guess that 12 factored in there. If they don't score any runs here, we're not going to cash this over. But I'm taking a run at it here. Both teams are averaging almost 6 runs a game in their last 10. We intersect that with the average over that we're seeing is almost 13 runs in those Dodger spots. And we got some numbers moving in the right direction. Finally, we see a total that's been getting correlated movement from the book showing respect and concern for it. So the 9.5 from me earlier today was minus 115. I'm good with the 10. Take the 10 at even money if that's all you can. Let me just take a peek. Minus 120, and then 10s are pretty much minus 105s across the board. So, yeah, look, Hendricks ain't no gem either, right? If you want to look at some Hendricks numbers out there, I told you at this onset about, again, just how bad our guy is here. But, you know, Hendricks is equally a pile of shit in his own right. So, 6.6 ERA and a 5.67 here, probably can expect to see some runs in this game. Maybe it's pretty square play, but I'm on it. I'm in it. Let's get her going. And let's talk about this Jets game now. We're here. We made it. Monday Night Football. Yeah, Rod says hot and humid in LA. The balls be flying. Fuck yeah. Rod's a wacky. Dude, it's great to see Rod. I hope you had a big weekend, Rock. Let's go. Sanchez says, we here, baby. NFL. Spread down to 41.5 on DraftKings. Look, I'll give it to you guys. Only time I'm going to mention this under. Only time. Monday Night Football unders when the spread's less than a 7, totals 40 or more points, are 30 and 5 to the under. 30 and 5. Touchdown or spread less than a tutty, total bigger than a 40. Pretty straightforward. Monday night primetime unders. And usually we see those numbers, right? They're competitive games. The schedule makers haven't there's every so often there's a shit battle in there, but 30 and 5 to the under. So I already jumped in on, I'll put these on the board for you guys. We'll talk about them. It's a little probably easier for me to do it this way. What do we got? Now, CMC, just chicken shit if he's not playing this game. I don't know what's going on, but I love his under 4.5 receptions. That correlated with my under 30, whatever the number was. I don't remember. I don't have it written down here. Under 35.5 or under 36.5 receiving yards. If he's out, he's out. If he's out, now I already took the Jets or the Jets at plus 4.5. I'm going to go in there on the money line as well. But I love the 4.5 because, we saw this yesterday too. There's a couple of games that hook became a big factor. And I gave it out on Saturday, the 4.5. I'm a sick creature though, when it comes to this stuff, because without one of their best players, arguably their best player, I like the team even more now because everybody's going to be thinking, we got to go slam the Jets now. We got to go slam the Jets. I'm missing the best of the number. 54% of the bets are on the Jets, but only 48% of the cash. So it's a pretty splitty spot. Splitty? Yeah, I know he wasn't going to play much. That's why I love the props. I love targeting a guy that's not going to go. And then there's also the added opportunity of re-injuring himself. Not that you want to sit there and root for the injuries, but let me just say, I wasn't disappointed when I saw what happened to Jordan Love. I'm not saying I was rooting for it. The game was over at that point anyways. Didn't matter. But we're bringing Malik Willis now? Get the fuck out of here. 9 of the Niners' last 10 season openers have gone under. So the total's dropping like a rock. 70% of the bets are on the over. 69% of the cash is on the under. 44s down to 41.5. You got to build the game script in your head of how you think these games are going to go and what it's going to look like. Let me give you some more numbers. Let me talk about some of these numbers here. Let's go. Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy. Prime time at home. 4 games. 4 passing extravaganzas for this guy. 252 yards, 255 yards, 252 yards, and 310 yards. Why is he passing that much? If they got CMC in, boys, they got Deebo Samuel. Are they trying to come back from behind? I don't know. Then we look at the side of things as well. How about favorites on Monday Night Football? Here's some things you're just not hearing. Everybody knows about the under. How about the favorites? They're just 17-30 against the spread. And how about this one? Who talked about this one? Aaron Rodgers has won 10 straight Monday Night Football games. Outright wins, 10 of them. Aaron Rodgers, this is the dude that talked about how he gets himself, like they talked to, I forgot what show he was on. And it was back when he was playing for the Packers, obviously. And he talked about, he gave an interview and he was like, maybe it was Pat McAfee show. And he came on and he was like, when I go on a big primetime game, he's like, oh man, he's like, I get fired up. He's like, I make sure that I trim the beard. I get the haircut. He's like, I want to look good. I know I'm on prime time. The dude literally gets motivated as fuck to go out there and ball out on Monday Night Football games. Now, how do the Dogs do in week 1 of Monday Night Football games? They're 24-11 against the spread. They're winning at a 70% clip, 69 and some change. We'll round it off. Recent performance. Now, some of these are tough, right? Recent performance, when you start thinking about the Niners. A lot of injuries at the end of last season. But since week 8, 0-7 against the spread. How about the Niners? When they're at home and they're playing a team that they had more wins than the previous season. So in theory, just better structured team. This one I like a lot. They're 0-7 in those spots. What I like best about that is they didn't have Aaron Rodgers last year. Now you're going to add in a future Hall of Famer, single ballot, one shot, one kill Hall of Fame guy. Let's talk about how I expect this game to go down. You'll see that I put this play out there with the first half team total over 9.5. Knowing that Aaron Rodgers gets gassed up to knife on Monday Night Footballs. He's coming back after being out last year, and the narrative is this guy's old. There you go, Trap God. Just Rodgers is washed. He's got a lot of weapons. He's got Breece Hall. Of course, we know about this guy. The weapons in offense, the ability to pass the ball around the field. This felt to me a lot like this is like when I talked about the Packers and Eagles on Friday, and I said Team A versus Team B. This one's a tough spot when you look at some of these guys on paper because, yeah, we know CMC who's now out, right? We know Deebo Samuel. How about here? Get him. That's a big factor out there, of course. I think that's a big tree that's hard to move. I locked in so the Samuel spot to me was the over 11.5 rushing yards. Why? Because I thought, we talked about Mason. I knew the CMC minutes restriction. I didn't realize he was going to be out altogether. But that thing's been catching some steam from 10s to 11.5s. Now there's even some 12.5s out there. Maybe that steam came in because they early anticipation, right? The big bettors know these guys aren't playing before we do. So my expectation in this game is that we see Aaron Rodgers come out there and look to just gut him like a fucking fish pulled out, fresh out of the water. Gut job. Guts everywhere. Aaron Rodgers goes out there, to just bomb. And if he doesn't bomb and he hands it off, I like a Breece Hall. Now that I know about the situation with no CMC, I'm going to look to do some alternate rushing numbers with Breece Hall. Let me look. 70. I like him going up to 75. I know it's like, well, what does one have to do with the other? Because that's such a big guy to be out. They're going to have to change their game plan a little bit. We just talked about Brock Purdy going 250 or to 300 yards every time he's played in these spots. And the big thing about that to me now, knowing that he's going to have to go to the air, they're going to probably be behind. CMC would have been a clock drain on that thing, ball hogging it and draining the clock. Now that opens up more time of possession for the Jets, in my opinion. That's how I correlate those two on the fly and saying CMC and that load share of that clock tick, ticking, not a factor anymore, which means Hall on the other side, tick, and once we see Aaron Rodgers goes out there, lights him up right off the hop to start the game, they're going to want to keep the ball on the ground in Breece Hall hands. 63.5 is his rushing yards now. I'm going to add that one. I'm going to have to look for the alternate rushing yards. Let me see. $70 plus is 115. 80 plus is 180. I'm going to have to shop that around a little bit. We've got some time before that actually has to go down. So that's my deal. Jets first half, team total over 9.5. Like them to go out there and gun. Pull the old gut hook out. I like Deebo Samuel at 12.5. He's moving. So shop that one around if you're going to get in there now, especially because, I mean, it's gone up with this news now. It's gone up as high as 14. And CMC, if he's out, obviously that's null and void. But I don't expect the Jets to lose this game. I think they kick the shit out of these guys. Wrong team's favored. I get it. Also, we didn't talk about the Super Bowl hangover factor that goes into there as well. Those teams don't fare well when it comes to the following year to start the season off. Bad spots all around. And Mike Netflush says Deebo this morning for highest rushing prop was plus 3,000. Now it's plus 400. Damn. See, I think I'm onto something with this game script. I think I'm onto something with the way that it goes. So, Breece Hall, man. Also, one of them I gave out earlier today, over 1.5 rushing yards for Aaron Rodgers. This one's just a straight play of Bosa, the Bosa effect. The Bosa effect being that when he's blitzing and he's coming across that line and he's trying to come tear the head off of Aaron Rodgers just to beat him with his own head, he's going to have to run. I can stand there and get blasted. So he's either going to be handing the ball off super fast, which again, I think leads to Breece Hall opportunity and generating those rushing yards. He's not bombing it down the field. He's going to have to get out of the pocket and try to get that first down. The only thing that concerns me about the 1.5, why I'm not absolutely in love with it anymore, is, they go up and he starts taking a knee. What happens to the yardage? Those factors depends on the book, I guess, where you'll have to evaluate that equation. But that's the deal, boys and girls. That's the deal for Monday Night Football. I expect this to be a spot 2.5 for Rodgers. Yeah, I see now it's down to 1.5. 1.5 at Caesars and DraftKings. Caesars got 1.5 at minus 111, and DraftKings has it at minus 120. So it's coming down. Do what you will for that one, but that's how we're going to go. What happened, Anya? What happened? Did I do something? Are you breaking my balls? It's okay. It's okay. You guys spend enough time with me. You've earned the right. Let's have some fun and make sure that we get this money tonight, because that's what it's all about. Just the, different and creative looks. Gun to my head, I'd be taking the over in this game. Yeah, I know. But it's only because I'm so sick of hearing about these unders. So sick. I told you guys, man. Called people up, telling me you can't come back on the show if you're going to keep just giving unders on every fucking primetime game. So, thanks for coming on. Thanks for playing. The more people can come on screen, the slower my connection is on StreamYard anyways. And so if you're just going to come on to say under, then I don't need you to come on. But That's how we're going to do it, boys and girls. I appreciate everybody, man. Make sure you take the time and, please follow me over at, follow us over at the new X page, Sports Money Wins. Sports Money Wins over on X. We're going to be pushing more content out there. Apparently, the blue checkmark factor, I got to get that thing. I guess they're going to credential us here, but we'll be streaming live over there as well. In the meantime, I'll keep streaming it through Pip Slap POD, but at Sports Money Wins, WINS, at Sports Money Wins. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're listener supported, baby. If you guys are making money, man, come in there. Give somebody a membership. Bring on new members. Go out there and, help us grow this community. Bringing on more shows, more time and effort being spent to craft the card and give you guys the looks, to cook the books. We love doing it. We're happy to do it. Just need you guys to, support the house, baby. Pay it forward, pay it backwards. We love it. We love it all. Members growing. We're going to do some member exclusive plays. We haven't forgotten about that stuff. It's a busy week 1, and there's a lot more fun to come. So enjoy the day. Enjoy the evening. Good luck with your bets. Good luck with everything you're doing here. And we'll circle back tomorrow. My guy Ramon, 9 a.m., doing the morning steam. And you'll find us back here pre-gaming, 6 p.m. Then we roll on over to the Dana White Contender Series, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. Woo! Wash, rinse, repeat, baby. Everybody have a good time tonight.